Welcome to Real Estate Success Partner. We're your hosts, Devin and Dubuc.
David Nguyen.
And we're here to talk about how to have great success in every market. Hey, today, guys and gals, we're back in Arkansas because we can't get enough. And Dave, you brought along another legend in the industry. Who'd you bring along today?
Ashley Cifreo from, is it Searcy, Arkansas?
Searcy, Arkansas. Yes, sir.
Searcy, baby.
Come on. How are you, Ash?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
Good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I'm excited to tell you about our state.
We're excited to hear all about it. But, we talked a little bit in the green room. So you're not an Arkansas native. Where are you from originally?
I am not. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I moved here in 2015.
Very cool. So were you doing real estate in Baton Rouge?
I was not. I was an entrepreneur, actually. My husband and I had a different business there.
Okay. So you're from Baton Rouge. Did you grow up there as well?
I did grow up there. Yes, sir.
That's awesome. And so one day you guys just woke up and you said, we're moving to Arkansas.
We did. I graduated high school the year Katrina hit. And so Baton Rouge changed after that. And we just were looking for a different lifestyle for our kiddos. So we came here.
That's awesome. So you said you guys were entrepreneurs. What were you doing?
We owned a granite countertop company where we did people's counters in their houses.
Very cool. So you guys are already familiar with real estate in some degree, right? You're out there beautifying these homes. And so you guys end up moving to Arkansas, give your kids a little different life. And you get out there and what would you guys do when you got there? Do you jump right into real estate?
Actually, right before we moved here, my husband started a business where he manufactures duck calls and turkey calls for the hunting industry. And so we came up here and just took that full blast because this was a great area for that. And in the meantime, I got my real estate license as we went.
So what I heard is your husband said, I love to hunt and I'm starting this duck call business and we're going to go where I can get more hunting done and you're coming along. Is that kind of how that went down?
That's pretty much the short version of it, yes.
So you get drugged to Arkansas, and then you find out it's kind of a beautiful place.
It's lovely. Yes, we love it here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's go back on the duck call business real quick because we got to give your husband a shout out. Do you guys still own the business?
We do, yes.
What's the name of the business?
It is named Jargon Game Calls, and we have a business partner that owns a TV show called The Foul Life, and we partnered with him, and we manufacture calls and send them to stores, and people order online, and it's a fun thing. So
there you go, guys. So celebrity right here. We just didn't know it. And hey, let's John, make sure let's get a shout out to their business across there. So if you're in the market for a new house, or you're a hunter looking for some duck calls or turkey calls, sounds like they got you covered. And, I hear the product's fantastic, right?
I believe they are, yes.
Yeah, you guys have to send me one. We'll use it on the show.
We will. We'll put your logo on it for you.
I love it. Yep, I actually do appreciate that. What's funny is my great-grandfather, he was a duck hunter. So, I grew up out there, sitting on the pond with him as a young kid. So, I've got some fond memories. Of my childhood. And there was
actually, my husband is not here today. He's an agent as well. And the reason he's not here is because he is really big into land management and helping advise people on how to build up their duck and their hunting, deer and duck hunting clubs. And so he's literally on a mini X right now, building a levee on a waterfowl project that he's working on. So if anybody ever needs any advice on that, he'd be happy to help you with that as well.
That's awesome. Let's give him a shout out too, because he was supposed to be here today. What's your husband's name?
His name's Chris Cifreo.
So Chris Cifreo, and how do we get in touch with Chris? And again, if we want to do real estate, we could do it with Ashley, but we can also do it with Chris. And it sounds like if you're a hunter, he's going to help you find the perfect plot of land and teach you how to build it out to optimize it for hunting. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we run a team and he helps people focus on land and commercial, and I do mostly the residential, but he can be reached at his cell phone number, and that's 870-301-9508 if you need him.
That's pretty cool. So you guys offer all kinds of services. And, we know Arkansas as a really beautiful state. You've got a lot to offer. We're going to let you talk a lot about that on the podcast today. But, for hunters, looking for a place to set up and call it, home base, you guys have some great opportunities out there. And really, any side of the life that you're looking for. As you mentioned, ducks. I know you guys have great fishing opportunities out there as well. So let's dive right in. So you get to Arkansas for the duck call business, and you find your calling, and it's real estate.
It is, yes. So Chris and I have just been in customer service for a long period of time, and I always was interested in real estate. I was the person that was just always looking for houses for sale around me, even though I wasn't in the market to buy. And I loved everything about it. We had an excellent experience with an agent, and we had a terrible experience with an agent. And so it gave me a lot of perspective of what type of agent I wanted to be as I got into the business. And we've had a great time ever since.
That's awesome. Here's what not to do. Here's what to do. Now let's go build our own success.
That's right.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So you guys get into the industry. What year did we start officially?
We actually both got licensed 2019.
So 2019,
Yes.
right at kind of the base of COVID, right? When market's rapidly changing. How'd that work out for you guys?
It was fantastic for us, actually. Chris and I are really hyper-focused on customer service, and that has seemed to bless us. And we also found ourselves in a small town where I think it's feast or famine, too. And we had a lot of other agents telling us, oh, you don't want to be in real estate. There's too many realtors here. And I think our area was thirsty for agents who take it to the next level and provide true white glove service. And so that's what we've brought to the community. And I think it's been pretty well received. So
that's amazing, because at the end of the day, you're right. Hey, there may be a lot of agents, but we've got something to offer. We've got a background in entrepreneurship. We've run businesses. We know how to take care of people. And at the end of the day, we want to set the benchmark, right? For this is how real estate needs to be done. And you guys have gone out there and done exactly that. So, congratulations to you. I always admire people who have a vision and a belief in themselves, because a lot of people don't realize to build the success that it takes a lot of hard work and dedication. And I'm sure there's a lot of moments, during that period of time where there's some question marks as to, are we doing the right thing? Is this going to work out? Did you guys ever have any of those moments, or was it just smooth sailing, right? From day number one?
No, we definitely had those moments. And sometimes I think people think Chris and I grew super fast in the real estate industry in this area, but they don't realize all the other entrepreneurial experience we had before real estate. That really blessed us, to be honest with you. The lessons learned and in every aspect, customer service, financial management, all the things. And then I'm truly grateful to just shout out for Buffini Coaching. If anybody's ever heard of that, we got in immediately. My broker told me about it. I've been in coaching since we got into real estate, and they've helped bless our business because we've been able to supersede maybe mistakes we would have made, that they helped us prevent making those same mistakes because they had seen that play out before. So just increase the quickness of being able to grow our business.
Well, I love that you said that, because Dave and I are coached too, and the way that we look at it is you can figure it out on your own. And if you're dedicated, you've got the desire and drive, you will. Right. But when you have the opportunity to have a coach who can look at things from the outside in, the first thing that they can do is tell you, hey, you know what? Have you looked at it from this perspective? And they can help you see things that maybe you're blinded by because you're too close to the project. Right. But the other thing, and this is what Dave and I have really found, is that when you're coached, it's kind of like being a franchise of, like, say, McDonald's, right? When you buy a franchise of McDonald's, they tell you how much product to buy, when to cook the fries, how long to cook the fries, who to hire for the right roles, how many of those people that you actually need to run your business. And, last time I looked, people are paying top dollar as franchise owners to the McDonald's chain. And when it comes to coaching, I think it's one of those things that it's a must-have. And typically the programs themselves cost a fraction of what it would cost to own a franchise of a McDonald's, but give you the opportunity to create endless earning opportunities, right?
Absolutely.
And so I couldn't agree with you more, right? The coaching is such a great element, and the people that understand it, embrace it, and use it as an opportunity to grow, they find great success. And here you guys are doing that. But one of the things you touched on several times, and I want to come back to that, is customer service. So when you say it, I believe it. Right. And it's because I can tell that you are dedicated to providing great customers. But what does that mean? Right. What does that mean in real estate? If I'm a customer looking from the outside in, what do I expect, from Ashley, when it comes to great customer service?
Absolutely. So there's a lot that goes into a real estate transaction. I think sometimes people don't realize that. And I try to educate people that if they had a really great real estate transaction, it was probably because they had a really great agent that was doing a
Yeah,
lot of things behind the scenes. And
that's
so
it.
Chris and I have built up systems in the last few years and brought on administrative support. So we have a full-time operations manager that helps run our team. We have a full-time transaction coordinator. We have buyer specialists to make sure that if for some reason I can't get you into the house in the next 5 hours, we have another agent that can meet them there. Just making sure that the client is served in every aspect and that I'm not personally trying to manage every single little piece because nobody can do every single thing and make sure that it's all done properly. So we
That's it.
have the proper expert in place to handle each part of the transaction to make sure we don't drop the ball anywhere.
And again, Ashley, you're a broker, so that's just not for you. That's for your entire team, correct?
That is for our entire team. Yes, sir. We have 4 agents that work directly with Chris and I, and then we have an operations manager and a transaction coordinator on our team.
We have a slogan over here. We don't hire people that we have to tell what to do. We hire people that tell us what to do, and we're always hiring.
Yeah.
And, I think what I mean by that is obviously we're going to give them direction on what we want, and that's our expectations. But when you're hiring the right people, they take that job and they make it more than what you ever expected. And now all of a sudden you've got things that are happening behind scenes that you're like, oh, wow, I didn't even know we were doing that. That's awesome. Do you find that as you start to bring on some of these roles into your organization that they just come into their own and start developing things that are enhancing your business?
Absolutely. And that's actually one of the purposes behind our team is to provide training to help a brand new agent, especially accelerate their learning and their business. And then maybe even like a mid-level agent providing all the administrative and the systems so that they can just get out there and do what's most important. What's most important for an agent to be doing is showing houses and listing houses.
Yeah.
Everything else we can have support so that all of that's getting done in a timely manner. And that way the agent can continue to go actually do what their job is supposed to be.
Yeah, what you just said is mentorship. We provide mentorship and we provide support so that our salespeople can focus on the things that they need to be focusing on, which is the money-making activity. Because quite frankly, sure, they can do all the back-end paperwork and they should probably know how to do it. But it doesn't mean that they have to do it, because if they can stay focused on keeping their eyes on the prize, right, they can bring in more opportunities for the agency, serve more customers, and help more families actually get into homes.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
And let's talk about that. So, Ashley, are you looking to hire more agents? It sounds like, man, if I'm a Arkansas realtor, I want to work for Ashley. What do you guys provide?
Absolutely.
Leads?
So we are always hiring if it's the right fit. We just want to make sure we're really big on culture on our team. And but you're probably going to laugh at this, but one of our main mottos is my assistant, the operations manager's mom used to tell her as a child, excuses are for losers. And I laughed the first time that I heard that, but I really love it the more I think about it. And what her mom was trying to teach her is that everyone has things in the way, but don't make an excuse. You know what I mean? How are you going to solve it? And so we really appreciate agents that, can navigate. Pivot is the word I would say.
Pivot.
I've got 4 kids, 2 businesses, a husband. Everybody has stuff going on, but you can make it happen. So yes, we are always hiring for the right agents.
Well, I love what you just said again, because you said, hey, look, we are hiring, but they've got to fit the culture. And that's a mistake that a lot of people make. They just want to hire because they feel like, hey, if I have more sales support, we're going to do better. But it's about hiring the right people, because you can have control, you can have growth. You can't have both, but you can only get growth when you're bringing people on in your organization that mirror and match the vision and the culture that you support, right? Because what happens when you bring in the wrong people is the culture changes and it can actually stunt a business's growth. So it was so smart that you said that. And again, I can see where the coaching is coming in, right? Because at the end of the day, it's hiring the right people to fit the culture, right? That's what it's all about. I love that. So what do you look for, in your culture? Do you have core values and a vision that you share with your team members?
We do have core values. One of our core values is a Latin phrase, ancora imparo. It just means I am still learning. And the reason I use that is because I don't like people that act like they know everything. No one knows everything. Right. Michelangelo said that on his deathbed or right before he died. Anyway, so just always learning. Like, for instance, our team, we have a monthly book club. So we're constantly reading a book and discussing it at our weekly team meetings. We have all of our checklist softwares provided. We're actually, next month, we're going to start, all of our agents are going to have access to the daily car wash club where they can go wash their
Yes.
car. And that's to make sure that they can continue to be a professional. And so our team
Mm.
does offer a lot of benefits to our team agents. So we just want to make sure that they're a team player, to be honest with you, and that they want to serve. At the end of the day, real estate's one of those things that sometimes you just didn't make any money for whatever reason because it wasn't in the best interest of the client.
That's
And
right.
so my bigger thing is making sure that while money motivation is very high on their list, it's not the most important. If money motivation is the most important thing to a potential agent, they can't be on our team.
Man, you're just dropping knowledge all over the place, and I got to run that back a little bit. So, one of the main things that you started with was, the beginning part of your core value, which is that, effectively we can always learn something or improve. And, it's funny because yours is a Latin core value, ours is Japanese, ours is Kaizen, and ours is always looking for continuous growth, for improvement, for the better, to avoid redundancies inside of our business, right? Because we can always improve and we can always get better. So I already see an alignment right there, right? But then, some of the other things that you talk about, the car wash piece, that's amazing because, you know that when you're taking people out, they're going to step into your car, and that's an image that you're projecting upon them the moment that they step in. And at the end of the day, providing that service for your team, it's encouraging them to hold themselves at a higher level in a higher regard. It's an accountability factor is what it is. And I love that, right? But the last one, and this is 100% the most important thing you said, is you can't be led by the money. You got to lead by serving the community and the people that we are here to provide a service to, right? The money will come. And David and I talk about this all the time, right? If you lead with your heart and you lead with a servant mindset, the money always comes right behind it, right?
It does.
It always falls
really
behind
does.
it. Hey guys, it's Devin.
And David.
We're your real estate success partners. Hey, if you're enjoying these podcasts and want us to keep bringing back this content, we truly appreciate you following us. But if you could go below and subscribe or make some comments, we'd truly appreciate it. And we'll keep bringing back great content in 2024. That's pretty special. Now, the book club, I have a question because you talk about hospitality. Have you read the book Unreasonable Hospitality?
It is on our list. So
Okay.
actually, once again, Buffini, he's doing a certified real estate professional program that's coming out this month. And so right now we're reading the books for who the speakers are. So this month it's John Acuff, Soundtracks, but Unreasonable Hospitality is, I think, next month or the one after.
Oh, I can't wait. You got to follow up with me after you read the book. Dave and I have both read it, and I'm probably gonna read it again. In fact, I actually recommend Audible on that one because the author of the book actually speaks from his heart. He does the narration, and it's a game changer. You already
so our
know.
team has an Audible that the agents have access to, and that's how we're all reading the same at the same time.
Funny how that works, right? Funny how that works. You're exhuming success and you're creating great opportunities for your consumers, but it's because you're always polishing your skill set so that you can provide more. It's a quality that so few people adapt to. And again, man, I'm so glad we're doing the podcast here because we're getting an opportunity to talk about some things that I think are really important. If I'm a customer and I'm out there looking at who I can align myself with, and I listen to Ashley here, what I heard was we're professional. We hold ourselves to a very high regard. We don't bring people on the team that are attracted to money. We bring people on the team that are motivated to help and serve. And we're continuously looking for ways to improve upon our support so we can get even better for the community. Where else would you go, Dave?
That's why she grew so quick, Devin. What are you talking about? So let's talk about that. How long have you been a broker, Ash?
I got a broker as soon as I could, my broker license. So you have to be an agent for 2 years in Arkansas before you can test. And I just so happened to be pregnant in 2020. And so I took the classes before my 2 years was up so that I wouldn't have to go to class after the baby was born. And then in January 2021, I tested and became a broker. So right at that 24-month mark.
Wow, that's really fast.
New baby, new broker, just getting started in the industry. And man, look at the way you've taken off. Congratulations. Seriously. It's an honor to get a chance to hear your story because, I can tell that a lot of hard work went into building what you guys have, and what you have is special. So, you should be proud of what you guys have created. This is it's pretty awesome, to see this. So I'm super
I
proud.
appreciate that. I have a lot of help. So I have 4 kids at home. They all help. My husband has been instrumental. I mean, I couldn't have done any of this without him. And anyway, I think sometimes people think that I've just done all this by myself, but coaching, family,
we get it.
Everybody. I'm so grateful.
Let's play that back. 4 kids, full-time broker, running a successful agency. Both parents work. What the heck? There's only 24 hours in a day, I think, right?
Well, and I want to go back, and you're right. The people behind the scenes are a big part of what made you great and makes this go, right? But it's your dedication and your hard work to assemble these people together and bring your vision to life, right? And yours and Chris's, right? I know he's a big part of this too. We missed him today, but we can't not talk about him because he's the other half to this success story, right?
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, you guys did that, and you have to. Sometimes it's hard as leaders because first off, we're never happy with where we are. We always want to do better. And secondly, we always want to give the accommodations to the people on our teams that deserve it because they do, right? That's what a good leader does. But you have to be able to sit back sometimes and let somebody recognize you for the greatness that you guys have accomplished, because you have. And, you're the broker, so you don't get to hear it as often as others, right? Because you're not inside of an organization where you've got other people that are commending you. So, I want to tell you that because what you did is hard and you guys did it. So you need to do the victory lap and spike the football and, and raise the flag because you guys are doing something epic. So,
I do appreciate that.
Awesome.
And on that note, seriously, my biggest encouragement to a brand new agent is find someone who will mentor you. So I don't own this brokerage. Michelle Phillips owns this brokerage, and she has been instrumental to Chris and I in training and holding our hand and just providing insight and knowledge. I think she's been an agent 25 years, and she's got 4 offices in Central Arkansas. We're proud to work with her. So that's my best advice is don't worry about the split. Ask them what they're going to train you on.
Well, last time I looked, 100% of nothing is nothing. So, at the end of the day, you have to have an agency that's going to offer you the mentorship and the support. And, I love that you're giving the plugs to the broker, because again, you can't stop handing out, the gratitude to the people that helped you get where you are today. So that's great. Let's touch on Arkansas. So you guys got there from Louisiana. You mentioned in the green, you weren't super excited about it. Now you guys are there. And I'm a new consumer. I'm looking to move to Arkansas. What do you guys have to offer? What makes that state so great?
The number one thing I will tell you is I'm a very practical person, and I feel like the government is run extremely well here. So I'm really big on financial matters. Arkansas continues to run at a surplus. About a year ago, they announced that they were going to reduce the state income tax. And so I think any effort to reduce taxes on the citizens is a wonderful thing. We're also the natural state. So it's not just hunting. We have excellent fishing. I'm 10 minutes away from the Little Red River with trout fishing, world-renowned trout fishing, crappie fishing on the White River. We have the Ozark Mountains. We have hot springs. I think it's really America's best kept secret, to be honest with you. It is just absolutely gorgeous here. And cost of living is very, very good from an outsider. I think, sometimes I talk to people that have lived here forever and they don't have the same perspective maybe as I do, but most of my out-of-state clients find that our property taxes are lower and just cost of living in general. It has been very good for us personally.
Yeah.
Well, here, I got a personal perspective. So my best friend, the Harders, bought her one of her listings, and they haven't said enough good things about it. So this is out of their mouth. They're Dallas natives. They've lived there their entire life. This is their first move ever, because just the economy and cost of living was suffocating them,
Well, I think it's more than that too. There's some congestion here in Dallas too. We've had a lot of people that moved into the market.
So they sold their house. They moved to Arkansas, and we talk constantly because they're really good friends of mine. I mean, just like they said that they got their water bill, and it was not just their water bill. It was water, electric, and everything all in one, and it was like $300 for everything. Here, it would have been like $800 or $900.
I just got my electric bill is $700, $680.
Where they moved specifically is Conway, and Conway Corp bridges everything together. So internet, water, electric. everything except their gas bill is all together. And it is very economical.
Well, and even just the food, they said like, going to Sam's or going to Walmart or going to the grocery store, the price of food that they would have spent here is literally 50% less in Arkansas. Same food, same everything. I
bet it is.
Literally 50% less.
Last time I looked, the headquarters for Walmart might be in Arkansas.
Bentonville, yeah.
Yeah. And actually, having said that, my dad ran grocery stores my whole life. He was the GM of 9 in Louisiana. And when I moved here, I remember sending him a video at Walmart that, the joke is you go to Walmart and there's no cashiers there. And that's changed a little since I've moved here because they have the self-checkout now.
They do.
And, but the first year I was here, day before Thanksgiving, they must have had 22 cashiers. I mean, there wasn't a line. It was amazing. I sent my dad a video and he goes, yeah, that's because you're so close to corporate. They're probably checking on their stores a little easier than they are in outside states, So, but our Walmarts they're really clean and I love them. And they do a great job keeping them up here. So.
That's awesome. Well, and I remember, as a young kid, I went to, I couldn't tell you the river, but it was in Arkansas. I know that because my uncle lived in Tennessee and he took me trout fishing. It was the first time I'd ever gone. And, we walked out there and I just remember looking, right directly into the water, seeing the trout swimming,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And it was just beautiful. Like I just had this moment. I'm like, I don't even want to catch the fish. I just want to sit here and enjoy this moment, and I can still right now sitting here talking to you, I can reflect on that. Arkansas is a beautiful state. You guys have so many great things to offer. And you talked about it too. Cost of living, taxes are cheaper, surplus of income. The state's doing great things. I mean, good food. I remember I had some great barbecue in Arkansas as well, So it really is a great place. And I think what we're finding, and you're probably feeling some of this too, is with COVID, a lot of people realized, hey, I don't have to live where I work. And they're starting to migrate state to state, and they're finding some of these hidden pockets. Have you guys seen some of that growth?
Absolutely. We actually changed our buyer questionnaire as one of the main questions we're asking now is how important is high-speed internet to you? Because
it's very important. Everybody works from home. Like my buddy works from home. He has to be connected. Yeah.
Yeah. And Arkansas is doing a great job. I think after COVID, we got some federal grants to run some fiber out in the more rural areas. But we do still have some areas that don't have amazing fiber or cable internet at the property. So we did specifically change it because if they're coming from out of state, it's almost always top on their list. And so we are seeing that quite a bit.
Last time I looked, some of the locals probably prefer to be off the grid, right? No internet. Let's get rid of it. So
yeah,
no, that's
very
cool.
True.
So what's the lifestyle there? You came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. What is it like to spend a day?
I would use the word slower, and that doesn't have anything to do with people's mental capacity. That means that they are, in my opinion, living their life a little bit more. I felt like we were living a rat race in Baton Rouge. I mean, it would take just to go get my daughter from school would take 45 minutes in Baton Rouge because of traffic. And so, where Chris and I settled, it's almost laughable if someone says that there's traffic in town. You might sit at one red light or something. Right. But slower pace of life and just feeling like you get to live life and not constantly running a rat race and always going back and forth to work and just spending half your life in the car because you're trying to get to work.
Yeah. You get to live a little bit. Yeah, that's great. I love that, and it is a when you're in these bigger cities, that's why I live here in Dallas-Fort Worth, but I live in Salina, which is the outskirts of Dallas-Fort Worth. And why do I do that? I can't say it's quite as slow of a life as it was where I grew up in Kansas, but it's definitely different than when you're in the hustle bustle of the city. And there's something to be said about that. So especially when you're raising kids, and you mentioned that. So did you say 4 kids?
Yep.
We have 4 now. We had 2 when we moved here. So we had 2 girls when we moved here, and now we have 2 more boys. So we have 2 and 2.
That's awesome. So 2 boys, 2 girls. And who's older? The boys, the girls? Is it a mixture?
The girls are older and the boys are younger.
So the girls came from Louisiana. The boys came from Arkansas.
That's right.
Something in the water in Arkansas if you want to breed some boys. That's awesome. So, you said they're invested in the business. Talk about that. Like how do the kids get involved in the business?
So actually our oldest daughter is 17 and she's our marketing coordinator for the entire team. So she does all of our social media that you see get put out. And then our other children help in numerous ways. I mean, if we're preparing, maybe we do what we call pop buys. So sometimes we'll go pop by our clients and bring them a little gift, and the kids will help assemble those or help deliver them. Just many ways they'll help organize things in the binder for me, or I don't know. We're a true family business, to be honest with you. So
love that.
Some people laugh about it sometimes.
No, that's awesome. That's why I love talking to you, Ash.
Yeah. Well, you're raising your kids to, to perform at a very high level, right? And you're teaching them great values, and accountability at a young age. And, that's so important. I remember I was, going through a Starbucks the other day, and I had a young lady that was, she's there often. And she said, Hey, I said, how's your summer? And she's like, oh, I'm busy and I'm working a lot. And my parents want me to continue school. So I'm in summer school. And she's like, it's just a lot. And I said, you know what? You're right. And I said, I bet you it feels pretty difficult, not being able to get out and spend that time with your friend. But I said, I got to tell you something. I said, your parents are setting you up for success. They're setting you up for success. And I said, at the end of the day, it may not feel like it today, but I said, if you do these things now, you're going to thank yourself later. I said, so, even though you may not be able to enjoy the summer the way you want to, you're going to enjoy a lot more summers in the future because your parents are holding you accountable to create success for your life. And I said, celebrate that. And you saw the smile go on our face, but that's what you guys are doing. You maybe not, summer school during the summer, but you know what I'm getting at. You're showing them how to create successes in their life. And that's so important. Our number one core value here is family. And it's because of the families we serve, but most importantly, it's for helping our families become, the best versions of themselves. So I love that.
Absolutely.
So your kiddos are there; they're doing all this cool stuff for you. Do they do any kind of sports stuff? Is it all business? What's that look like?
So my middle two really enjoy golfing. The youngest one, he's still a baby. He's not even 4 yet. So he's not into too many activities. And then my older daughter, she was doing cheer last year and she's preparing to go to college. She wants to be an orthodontist. So she's really just continuing to study for ACT. She's going to take it one more time before she goes to college next year and just see if she can get a little bit more scholarship and just working hard and all the things. She's studying photography right now, actually, just because she wants to improve her skills for just our social media stuff.
That's great. That's great. Well, if your kids were here today, what would you say to them?
I would just tell them I'm super proud and grateful for them, to be honest with you. I know that they do a lot, but just like you said, I'm trying to teach them skills because like Katie's mom used to tell her, excuses are for losers. There's no perfect way to raise kids, but I want to make sure my kids don't grow up and I want them to be an addition to society and be helpers.
Make a difference.
That's right. Yeah,
make a difference. Well, you're definitely setting the benchmark, right? You and Chris. So what about Chris? We know he's a busy guy, and I couldn't say busy. He's a productive guy. He's out getting stuff done today. I know you said earlier he's your other half, and you couldn't do this without him. Talk about that. If Chris was here today, what would you say to him?
Very similar, grateful thing. So Chris's mom wrote me a note right before we got married, and she said, whatever Ashley doesn't have, Chris will fill in. Whatever Chris doesn't have, Ashley will fill in. And that is so true. I mean, when I've struggled with something, maybe even on a real estate deal with negotiation, Chris is amazing at stepping in and helping solve problems and just handy stuff in general, to be honest with you. We have a house. I called him this morning and someone locked the shed and mom passed away. So there's no key. And he's like, it's okay. I'm going to go over there and get the door open later. And so just really trying to provide ultimate service to our clients so that we have a son who doesn't live here that can't just come open the door. We're going to handle it. Yeah. So we just fill in each other's gaps in that way. So.
Yeah, you guys complement each other. Yeah, you guys, a special family, special group of people right there.
That's right.
Well, we'd love to keep you here all day. We know you got a lot to do. 4 kids, a thriving business. So what have we not tackled today, that we should have?
I think we hit it all. If you have any additional questions about Arkansas in general, we certainly would be happy to answer those for you.
We'll have a follow-up. Don't worry.
Well, and I can say I think she's more than qualified to give the answer, right? Whether, you're looking for a new home to make your life in, or if you're looking for, a property that you can build out and utilize for hunting and fishing and, maybe a second home. I think you guys have it covered. And not just from the home itself, but, also the helping of the planning and building, right? Sounds like you guys have those talents. So, super awesome. Great getting a chance to meet you today. I know we met before, but really get to meet you, really get to know you today.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to share a little bit about Arkansas. It really is. It's the best kept secret. And we'd love to have anybody that wants to be here. I know we joke about, it's always a joke about West Coast moving this way, but, as we want people here. We love the growth and the newness that they bring to and their ideas. So
awesome. Well, and what part of Arkansas specifically do we serve? The whole state, or where do you guys like to do business?
And so Chris can do land really all over the state. Yeah. I really focus on Central Arkansas just because that's where my knowledge of the industry is. I feel like if I get too far away from Central Arkansas, I'm not serving the client best for a multitude of reasons. So just anything, if you're just looking at Arkansas, if you see something in the center, we can help you with that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And when the folks out there want to find you, how do they get in front of you guys?
They can call or text my personal cell phone anytime. And that number is 870-301-9852.
That's perfect. And that just rolled right across the bottom of the screen. But if you didn't catch that on screen, check in the description on the podcast. We're going to have it dropped in there for you as well. And whether you need a duck call or if you need some property or if you're looking to find that perfect place to hang your hunting hat, Ashley and Chris are definitely there to take care of you, and their team. They got an amazing team too. Are going to be there to help you every single step of the way. So, Dave, anything you'd like to say to our guest, before we wrap up the show today?
It goes without saying, Ashley and her team is awesome. She was actually the listing agent for one of my clients, and we just started talking, connecting. And I just feel like, we've been collaborating, and it's just, it's great to do business with people like-minded, like-hearted, like you, Ashley. And it's definitely our pleasure.
Yeah. And if I can give you a shout out, our team closed 75 properties last year, and you are the most organized lender of all of them. I'm serious. That's not just because we're on here. Your systems, your follow-up, I've not seen another lender recreate what you guys are doing.
Oh, I love that. It's because you're being coached. We're being coached. Such a tremendous difference in processes when you see it. And thank you very much.
No, I appreciate it.
Coming from 75 transaction, you know what? You can honestly say you dealt with a lot of different lenders out there. So
I do. Absolutely.
It's more than, a lot. And for
that's
us,
a huge compliment.
For a huge compliment. And again, because we're being coached, our systems are very important. Like I say all the time, one of the things we talk about is this. I call you every week. You don't always answer, but you know what? You don't have to answer. You just know that I'm going to call every week.
That's right.
It's part of your process.
It's a process.
It's same thing with your realtors. If you're trying to, get out there and get your information out, whether you can't control the responses, but you can control what you do.
Absolutely. And communication is so important between an agent and a lender. For people that are just listening to this as a potential client, you need to find people that communicate really, really well between those two parties. Otherwise, things get sticky.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it goes back to what you said earlier. There's a lot of things a realtor does. In fact, we just put out a piece on that, 184 things a realtor does. It's probably more, but that's what it's called, and it lists literally every single one of them. If you want that, we have it because we're grading that for our real estate agents. But, at the end of the day, if you're great at it, the client maybe sees 4 or 5 of those. Right. And that's how you're working with the true professional, because we could do the same thing on the lending side. I don't know if it's 184, but it's certainly a big number of things that are done on the lending side. But if your lender's doing it right, you never feel it. And that's how when you're working with a professional,
that's their job. That's why they've hired us to help them get their loan and to help them buy or sell a house, is to take that off their plate. If they didn't want all of those things taken off their plate, they would do it themselves. So.
You got it. Well, again, it's been just an absolute honor to spend some time with you today. So thanks again, Ashley.
Thank you.
Get out there and do what you do. Get home to those amazing kids. And I think we're going to call it today.
Yep.
Yeah, we're your Real Estate Success Partners. I'm Devin.
I'm David Nguyen.
If you want to check us out, come over to realestatesuccesspartner.com. But if you want to watch it live and in person, we think you should. Come over to YouTube and meet Ashley face to face. You can find us there at the Dubuc team, or you can check us out on IG, Facebook, TikTok. We love it when you comment. And in fact, we absolutely appreciate those honest reviews. Until the next time, we'll see you then.
Bye, guys.